Are you an entrepreneur or a small business owner who wants to make sure that you comply with the government requirements? Well, you are in the right place because this is part 2 of my government compliance video podcast series. And today I'm going to talk about the concept of income tax, VAT, expanded withholding tax, and withholding tax compensation. Welcome to the Digital Transformation Academy. My name is Dennis Hilario and I'm here to help you in your digital transformation journey. Let the show begin. Welcome to the podcast. Today is Wednesday morning, the 25th of November 2020. It is one more month before Christmas and let's all keep our gratitude that we're still here and fighting despite the many challenges this year. My name is Dennis Hilario and you're listening to the Digital Transformation Academy podcast. If you're new here, welcome. I release brand new episodes every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so be sure to like and subscribe to whatever platform you are consuming this to get you prompted on every episode. This week is a 3-part series where I talk about the basics of government compliance, and make sure to also listen to part 1 where I talk about the 7 steps in registering your business. So let's jump right to the topic. So let's start with the concept of income tax. So income tax is a type of tax that governments impose on income generated by businesses and individuals within their jurisdiction. By law, taxpayers must file an income tax return annually to determine their tax obligations. So in the Philippines, we file it every 15th of April the following year, and the period covered is last year. So to compute for the income tax of your business, so you get the net income, which is revenue less the expenses. So the bottom line would be multiplied by the current income tax rate. So for businesses, it's roughly about 32% of your net income. So that would be the amount payable to the government every year. So next is VAT or value added tax. So it is a consumption tax levied on the value added to a product at each stage of its manufacturing cycle, as well at the time of purchase by the ultimate consumer. So normally on every transaction in your sales invoice or your sales receipt, if you are a service company, on top of your product or service net price, you add additional VAT, which in this case is 12% in the Philippines. So the total of the product net price plus the 12% VAT is your product gross price. So for a specific example, say your product net price is about 10,000 pesos, then the VAT would be 12% of that, which is 1,200. So your gross price would now be 11,200 charged to the customer. So if you get the sum of all the VAT of all your sales transactions, that is called the output VAT. So and later on, you will deduct it from your purchases input VAT to get the amount payable to the BIR, which is payable the next following month. So again, another example is that if your total output VAT is say 100,000 pesos and your total input VAT, which is the VAT from your purchases, is about say 60,000 pesos, then the amount payable to the BIR is only 40,000. So later on in the next episode, I'm going to be discussing the filing of VAT and its schedules. But also take note that not all companies are required to compute for the VAT. So if you are registered as a non-VAT company or a business, then you don't have to do this. So what you do is what you call the monthly percentage tax, and you pay it every quarter. So the monthly percentage tax is roughly about 3%. And again, we'll discuss that on the next episode. So the next term is withholding tax compensation. So it is the amount of an employee's pay withheld by the employer and sent directly to the government as partial payment of income tax. So normally, every time you compute for the salary of your employee, based on the tax table from the BIR or the salary tax table, you withhold that amount and then you pay it to the BIR the next following month. So again, for example, if the employee pay for the month is 50,000 pesos and the withholding tax is say 2,500. So you only pay 47,500 to the employee, and that 2,500 will then be remitted to the BIR the next following month. So the last topic in this episode is the withholding tax expanded. So it is the amount due to the supplier withheld by the buyer and sent directly to the government as partial payment of the income tax. The withholding tax expanded rates vary depending on the type of industry that the supplier is in. But normally, if their business is goods, then you withhold 1% from the supplier of the total price net of VAT. And then if it's a service company, normally it's 2%. You may refer to the BIR tax table of withholding tax expanded for more details. So to compute for the withholding tax expanded, so you get the net price of the invoice of the supplier. When you say net price, is the net of VAT. So if the net of VAT is 50,000 and you withhold 1% of that, which is normally the goods, then you withhold the 500 pesos. So you only pay 49,500 to the supplier, and then you pay the 500 to the BIR. So that was the second part of the 3-part series this week, where I am helping you with your government compliance. My action step for you, action taker, is to start recording your VAT and withholding tax payable to the government to make sure you are complying for peace of mind. It is really critical to sit down and strategize on how to execute this. And as we go deeper into the next episode, I want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by TaxSumo. It is an online tool to file and pay taxes conveniently. Just go to taxsumo.com and use the promo code accounting101 without spaces to avail of the 10% discount. Also, if you haven't already, check out my Accounting Starter digital course for small business. It is a 6-module course where you can learn the basics of accounting up to computerizing it. It comes with a 6-month free access to our own online accounting software called Stamp Accounting. So I believe it is enough to let you get used to accounting software. So this coming Friday, I'm gonna be discussing the schedules and how to file your monthly, quarterly, and yearly taxes and other government-mandated contributions and its corresponding schedule, so make sure to stay tuned. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. DX Your Life and Business. Have a great day.